Hello. Let's see if my test is gonna work today. Let's see if this is gonna work. What's up, y'all? I am in the mood right now. Oh my god, I got 2 live stream things going on right now, and I don't like what I just did. This one is live, and I'm gonna. Yeah, what's up? I don't know if any of you. What's up? I don't know. Yep. What up? Messing around tonight, and I decided to go live here because I'm doing a little experiment, and I'm in a mood, and that's the deal. That's where I'm coming from. I don't expect anybody to jump on this, but there's something that I need to do for my world to see, and I don't even know if it's working on the other platforms that I went to, but let's see if this really works today. It's late Saturday night, and on the West Coast, it says 10:53 p.m. where I'm at. I was just working on some other stuff, and I was like, well, there's something here was on my mind. It's always on my mind, and I'm like, I'm in the mood. I invested all this technology and stuff over the years to build live stream, to do my call-in shows, to do all that stuff. This is for anybody who's watching later, and to do things like this. And part of it was like, okay, you need to plan and announce things, right? And that's the way to do it. But the other part of it is to be like, I'm going to just go do it right now. I'm going to press the live button right now, and actually I'm glad that I did, because I had some tech problems. I'm still having tech problems, but I'm going to talk about some astrology today for anybody who's going to watch this later on, who just shows up, because I have nobody here. This is good. I see somebody. What's up, Tara? How's it going? How are you? Say what's up to me. Tell me you can hear anything. I think you can, but let me see here. I think I'm kind of loud, aren't I? I feel like my gain is loud. What's up, Tara? How you doing? What's up? I am messing around right now, and I see something I just did here and another one. Good, you can hear and see me. Okay, good. I messed up in something on my back end here, and I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna delete something, and hopefully it doesn't stop the stream. So, Dara, what's going on? You're just chilling. I was too. And then I looked at the clock. And I was like, wait a second. There's something about this time. There's something's up. And then I realized what was up. And maybe I'll pull a chart up on a screen. If I can do the right one. I feel like I'm all over the place right now. I just enlarged myself there. Yeah, I'm all over the place right now, but I'm going to see if I can bust a move and show why. And I'll turn this to now, and I'll do it like this, and I'll make it like that. And it's because, and I can't forget something else I'm going to do. So because I'm not in the mood of like doing this perfectly today. Present something. I'm typing in something because I want to have my little somethings. I don't know if this is gonna work. What I can do though is this. I can go like this and go boom like there, and I could say, well, there's Chiron and Jupiter together exact right now. It happened in the last so many minutes. I was going to do a video on this week. I was way too tired. I was trying to catch up with the rest of my life and talk about this. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. And I call it the late night. What did I write for the title? The Late Night Astrology Healing wound potion live stream. Because honestly, this is healing for me. And I needed to do something because I was like, well, Creatrix, what's up? I see you. What's up? I need to do something for Jupiter Chiron today. And I actually was doing it for myself. And this whole week, these 2 weeks, I've had my own Chiron journey going on. And I was like, I have so much to say about it, but I was like, I have to write a post. I have to plan a video. I have to do some editing. And I'm just was like, I can't do it. It's like, there's so many transits this month. I'm like, okay, I got to pick and choose. I already feel weird for not making a Saturn and Pisces video, which I'm still going to make. I just don't care because it's almost 3 years of it ahead of us. So we got time. It's that thing of like, oh my God, there's this transit. I got to write about it. I got to go on Instagram. I got to do this thing. And I see all these other people doing it and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm going to play a video game, actually. It's because what I was doing earlier. But interestingly enough, in the video game that I was playing, Chiron came up. And I was like, I'm going live. Chiron's been coming up in the video game. You're like, what the hell is Chiron doing up in my video game? And maybe I'll show you what video game I'm playing. But anyway, I'm going to switch here. Let's see if it's going to let me do it this way. Maybe it'll let me do it this way. If I do this, I forgot how to do all of this. That's it. Annotate the screen. There we go. Hi, little annotator. There's Chiron at 14 degrees. There it is. Right on my Chiron. Hence the live stream. Hence this last year for me. And all the stuff of putting myself out there. My 12th house Chiron. I'm not going to get into the details, but it's been heavy for me the last 2 weeks. It's right on schedule and what it's supposed to be doing and effing with me. At the same time, giving me insights. You know, with Jupiter here, touching Chiron and it depends on the person. And I always say this when I do astrology. And I have a couple of people. This is a test, by the way, for those of you joining. What's up? Hey, what's up? And I actually stream into Twitter right now. I don't know if it's working. I took a chance. It's up on my Facebook, but the screen's pointing to Jupiter Chiron. I was doing some research, and this is my own thing too about the dreams I've been having and the hurt and healing and things that have been coming up in my world and for clients too as of late. And there's the typical thing you hear about the wounded healer, and it's a wound that you cannot see. And so a lot of times you might see that wound in other people, and in a way you help them with it or have a knack for understanding that wound with other people. And because of that, you heal your wound. That's like the super basic Cliff Notes version of what comes across sometimes when you hear about this stuff. But I was just thinking about Asclepius, actually. And, I don't know if you know about Asclepius. He basically taught Chiron what's up, Achilles, a bunch of people, but we'll get into that right now. But I was thinking about the ways that we go inward to confront ourselves, or how situations in life will confront us. And I think that happens a lot with a Chiron story. So with Jupiter being here, it's elevated and just lit on fire, literally, and brought to a point where somebody pours gasoline on the fire. That's what it can be. The other part of it is like and what it's turned out for me is this amazing conduit internally, and this feeling of like, I see not only my wounds, but I know exactly what I have to do to take care of it. And it's usually a fear of going and taking the next steps. I will admit it right now. This isn't my chart, by the way, but we got Chiron here, and it brings up like this amazing clarity, and like and the wackiest sense of fear, at least for me. And it varies with client to client, but right now a huge pivotal moment in the Chiron story in Aries. We have another one coming up within weeks here. It actually is going to, I'll get into that in a second, but we just had Venus go over it recently. Here we are with Jupiter Chiron. I just want to tell you and anybody watching now and later on that you can look at me right now and I will tell you that I am definitely wounded, and it is at the forefront of my life right now. And typically, as a practitioner, as someone who doesn't shouldn't maybe talk about my own personal stuff, I don't do it with clients, but I do it here on YouTube. That maybe you shouldn't do that, or you keep this barrier up in a way, and you have to protect yourself, but more of the professional barrier, like, okay, no one knows about your personal life, you keep a professional look. And this is something that I have always played around with my whole life. But in my client sessions, I don't bring up my own stuff, obviously, but here I am on YouTube, and there's a little bit of a boundary that I like to cross or be open to because of that, because it's just who I am. So I'm wounded, definitely wounded these days, but it doesn't mean I cannot be in my life. It doesn't mean I cannot do things, because I am doing it. And it doesn't mean that I cannot be there and hold space for other people. As a matter of fact, by saying this a lot and being that and taking it on, I'm like, as a matter of fact, I'm in the right place right now, actually, to talk to people, to hear their story and see their wound and mirror and help them. Creatrix in the chat, my Chiron is in Aries and 14 keeps coming up in channelings. It should. It's happening right now for you. You came to the right live stream. Because there's like 30 other Chiron live streams going on right now. So, anyway, press play. I could talk about a bunch of things today, and I'm going to do whatever. I will read something right now because I want to. And I'll get off the screen for a second. I don't have my stuff set up correctly, too, with the way I do this thing. And... but let's read, because on these live streams I like to wait a second, do stuff like that. throw some vibes at you, so I got a bunch of things. I could talk about charts. If there's anything you want to know in the chat, let me know. I'll do my best. I'm in a free for all mood today. I don't normally do this late night. I'm experimenting. For those who don't know, later I'm streaming out to Twitter. I don't do that. It's on Facebook, I think, on my channel. Obviously, the people here on YouTube know what I do. Usually I plan these things. This isn't planned. I'm going to read from a book that I read through every day. It's like the book. It's so funny because it's page 54, but it's number 67. Number 67 in, come on now. There we go. Number 67 in this book. And it's the hymn to Asclepios. Oh, which reminds me. Hold on, because this is on the fly and I just don't give a damn how I'm doing it tonight. Hold on. I had to light something. I had to light something because I lit some frankincense. I lit frankincense. This is black frankincense. This is from either Ethiopia or Somalia. It's good. It's so good. Anyway, since we're invoking, let's not mess around. Asclepios says to burn frankincense. The Orphic hymn to Asclepios. Lord Paean, healer of all, you charm away the pains of men who suffer. All men and women. We know old school, the right men, but I could change it up. Men, women, living creatures. You charm away the pains of men who suffer. Come, mighty and soothing, bring health. Put an end to sickness, then to the harsh fate of death. O blessed spirit of joyful growth, O helper, you ward off evil. Honored and mighty son of Phoebus Apollon, enemy of disease, consort of Hygeia the blameless, come as Savior, O blessed one, bring life to a good end. All the healing came from Asclepius, and taught Chiron, a bunch of people carried out in a certain tradition. And I'm part of that tradition, I would say, because of where things are in my world. And I want whatever you see in the wounds that are in your world and in the Aries part of your chart to reveal themselves, to show the pus and the rotting, the poison. And it, because of being in Aries and Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, for that to bleed out, to come up to the surface, to be sweated out, to be purged in the Aries part of your chart right now. Because that's where I am. That's what I'm in the process of doing in my world. And I'm starting to do it with my dreams and with prayer and with natural remedies, and even in the Western medicine world, walking in all those directions. But most importantly, and this is what I want to get across simply tonight, with Chiron being in Aries and Jupiter there, it's this quest, Jupiter, this quest, this star that Jupiter sees far, far away, that it wants to reach to know everything about, the higher knowledge, the higher philosophy, the highest truth in this Chiron and Aries story, and where it is, and how one can go to that place outwardly seeking help to heal their wound, their illness, but internally the quest is to go within and go deep. And along the way, with the more deep one goes, the more they bring that poison up to the surface. So there's a duality going on here, and the thing we have to remember that. And at the same time, the courage that it takes to do that, the courage that it takes for you to look into yourself and to walk through pain and suffering, and to confront pain and suffering, and to stand in it. Because it isn't until then that I think one could deal and start a healing process. And it's literally happens with, physical manifestations in people's bodies. I'm not a doctor, but we know this. Like, you got to get to the root of it. Sometimes along the root of it, they show up. They were brewing behind in your body, and then they show up, they manifest, and then they're like, oh, I got a deal. And this happens with illness all the time. It's your body's way of showing you something's going on outwardly, that it's at a crisis point, even though it was building up from before. So anyway, when we do an internal thing like that, it takes courage in Aries. It takes the will and to confront fear, to be in the fear place and to be in that poison, at the same time to have that courageous, willful attitude with sword and shield to be there at the heart of it all, to be at the core of life, to stand in that and know that without doing that, nothing can be saved or healed and moved forward. And so I wish this for all of you who have a situation going on in your world that's like that from a Chiron matter, and that your intention is to help and to seek help within yourself and with other modalities, other people out there. To me, this Jupiter conjunct Aries elevates that courage. And again, you think of it as a quest, then you feel then that you're not only following mystery, but that you're connected to nature and the universe, and to whatever you deities or whatever you're into to pray, that it's part of it, that it's not separate, And anyway, Tara in the chat says 9 degrees Chiron and Aries in the 7th. I see. I've been feeling the need to go deeper into self-healing. I see, Tara. I see. And it's, curiously enough, the last 24, 48 hours before the moon went into Scorpio, we had a Jupiter Chiron thing happening, or Jupiter moon opposition. So, there might be some little things the last, like Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, they went into Friday that came up. Creatrix says in the chat, yes, Virgo, Jupiter, and Saturn, Aries, Chiron, North Node. Okay, let me think about that again. Yes. Oh, I see. Yes, Virgo, Jupiter, Saturn. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's deep. But that means you can go deep. And that means you can handle is not the word, but like some people get freaked out. Like you get like wounds, like little wounds, and legit, right? But I think when we've had certain stories in our life where we build scar tissue and it's obvious, right? We got certain things that we carry. We think people don't see it, or they do literally, like scars on our body or stuff like that. You get to a point too of like that never goes away, and then you're like, hey, this is who I am. The scar I have, or the scar I have here, or whatever, you all see it. You get to a point of like, yeah, this is who I am. What you got? Let me see your scars too, But it's like more like sometimes being proud of it, or showing myself, everybody does it. Like, oh, when I was 5 years old, I fell off the swing and I did. That's where this little scar comes from. Or when I did this and that, or this happened to me, So it's like, in a sense, coming to terms with it and being there and knowing that it may never fully go away, but it did turn into something else. You're still standing too. Creatrix in chat says it's a journey. LOL. Water trying to do shadow well and transmute alchemist. No doubt. Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Totally. All of it will manifest through our bodies for sure. Totally. Oh, more than ever. More than ever, man. I think we're so strong as human beings, but really sensitive, and it's multifaceted, and we don't see it, and other things we do see, and it's combined with the way we relate to the world and people, our wounds showing up. We have somebody here earlier as a 7th house. Chiron is in there. I'm sure it's always an interesting story for you, Tara, the way you're relating to the world and other people. I'm sure it's a thing now. And yeah, right on, Creatrix. Healer. Healed myself. That's it. That's it. This story, Chiron. You heal yourself. You just find the ways to do it. I do it through other people. And it's been reflecting back towards me lately, and I've been doing it to myself. I'm in a major place right now where I have no avoidance of this. I can't. And when I think I've confronted it in my life, or it's come into my way, I've had it hit me in such a deep way the last 2 weeks. So hence this healing potion live stream. Plus I was playing video games, and there was a fountain. I went there and it replenished my health, and I'm like, I need to find that fountain in real life. So, all right. So on this note here, I'm going to, I just thought of something that's going to happen here. I'm punching the wrong things here. Okay, I thought of something that was going to happen here. And let me move the days, because right now we're at March 11th. There's obviously a lot that's going to happen here. But I'm actually going to move to something here that's connected to what we're talking about. And let's see if I can find it. And I can. I'm there. And here it is. This here is Tuesday, March 21st. Basically, you see the sun there. The day before is the new moon. It's the equinox. We have the new moon that's going to happen. At 0 degrees Aries. Huge deal. Another time we'll talk about it. Next day, the moon enters in on the equinox, right? So here we could see basically the moon here coming through. Mercury now is in Aries at that point. The sun we're starting off spring in the northern hemisphere, fall in the southern. But here we have the moon on the Tuesday. I have Tuesday. This is 11:55 p.m. But basically Tuesday until Wednesday of that week, you have another chapter in the story, because the moon's going to come across and hit Chiron again, but it's there with the sun, it's there with Mercury, and it's, it's still, if you look at this, it's still 15 degrees Chiron, 16, Jupiter. So you have this deal going on. And, there's something that I passed up in all this too, because along the way, if we look here, and if I move here, there's Mars in Gemini still, right? In about 4 days from that, the 25th, it's going to move into Cancer. But we need to pay attention to this, because we always look to the ruler of whatever is ruling Scorpio and Aries, which is Mars, and we go to see what's going on with it. So, this whole thing that's been going on since last November or September, with Mars being in Gemini, is about to end. But this whole Aries story, the whole Scorpio story with eclipses, Mars has been a major factor in Gemini. So there's a lot going on here with Mercury too, because Mercury rules Gemini. Here at this point, though, Mercury here is in Aries. And we have a lot of, I think here, words that are raw and powerful. More than they've ever been, I think, for the Chiron and the Aries part of someone's chart the last so many months. I think here's where there's a special something that's going to happen here, because of what can not be held back anymore with words, whether it's saying publicly, like in a sense right now, I'm being real. I'm like, hey, I'm dealing with some personal wounds right now. I'm telling this out loud. Now, I think this could happen for a lot of people, if you have heavy planets there, like some of you in the chat, mentioned you have Chiron and Aries or a major connection to this. When we get to the 21st, 22nd here with the moon in Aries, after the new moon in Aries, huge moment. Then we have this kick in, and Mercury's a big part of the story. And Mars in Gemini fuels that. So I'm just going on the fly here and telling you what I think about this moment. The 21st, let's move up a couple hours here just to see what the hell's going on, because here we go crossing over to the 22nd. Basically, yeah, you got the moon. Let's go all the way to where, and I'll adjust the chart here. You just hang in with me. Here's moon at 13 degrees. At this point, it's like 8 in the morning on the 22nd on the Wednesday. Let's just for dramatic effect, we'll go right there, and we'll just move this like this. And you'll see there that it's like 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast on March 22nd, where the moon comes through. So pay attention to what happened. Has been going on the last 2 weeks and tonight, and because it's not done. But I want you to take the potion of empowerment, the potion of reclaiming your core self and lighting your will on fire to take care of whatever Chiron story that's been in part of your chart, and to take a chance and a risk. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but with stuff like this, it's to a point when we deal with Aries energy, a lot of times there is no pondering and thinking anymore. That is for the opposite sign to do. Libra, Venus ruled, to weigh things out and to contemplate before making decisions, if they ever make a decision. And for Aries, it's not about that. It's about get it, do, now, instinct, impulse, now. It's the seed for spring coming out of the dirt, the pure, rawest life force that comes out, and that is the energy. This is the energy here that you want to deal with. I'm hiding my face here, but this is what you want. This is what you want to do. I don't like the way I'm doing this. Let's just shrink it down. This is what you want. You want to be forward about what's been messing with you, to yourself and to other people. I'm going to try to pay attention to chat here right now, because Nicholas, I'm talking to myself. Eddie, I see you. See you in chat. What's up? Again and again. That's a song. Again and again. Yeah. Yep. I'm seeing in chat 2 creatures. I just never ends. It didn't have fear. I'm just done. My ascendant Cancer sign. Yeah. Yeah, Eddie. You got to say what you feel. And sometimes it's going to come out with pure raw fire, and some people won't be able to deal with it. And It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. The only way to go through is for everything to come up, to be there. Is conflict a part of the deal? Possibly, definitely. It always is, but it's more, I would say, conflict of the mind, the conflict with thought because of Mars being in Gemini. So, I'm paying attention to my other screen here because I'm trying to keep track of the other two streams, but whatever. So, again, for those watching, you 11 of you, and maybe 2 people tomorrow, if they even bother with this, I lit some incense for you all. We recited something together. I started the stream at this conjunction of Jupiter, Chiron, and you know me, I don't F around with this stuff. I do my own rituals privately, we all do, but I'm doing this one with you. And even if you're not here right now and you're watching it later, I want you to stand in that place and take the power that is yours back. Take it. It's yours. You're entitled to that. You're entitled to growing and to healing. If you're afraid to talk about it with other people, cool. Find somewhere to talk about it. Find somebody. You're wondering about, if I do this or do that, this will happen. Some people won't understand, or if I'm vocal about certain types of things that need to come to the surface. Find a way for yourself. I know you just can't do that. I'm sort of doing a more Marsy pep talk right now, but however it comes, there's a way for you, and I believe that you get to grow in this. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm definitely telling that to myself. So that is part of the Chiron story. That is March 20. Let's just say it's part of the new moon that happens on the 22nd, 21st and 22nd, and then that's what's up. There's I'm gonna get this off the screen if I could do this correctly. Oh no, Nicholas, do it this way. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to go on here, because I was in the mood and I needed to test some things, but I'm also willing to talk to the chat really quick, because I'm reading the chat. Community sharing reverberates too. Hell yeah, it does. Thank you, Tara. And Eddie, Moon and Chiron exact in Aries at 17. What is up? I got all the Chiron people. Moon and Chiron exact in Aries at 17 degrees, and it's literally my undoing from an outside perspective, but feels okay to me. Half the battle, Eddie, is knowing how it functions and what's going on. 50% of it is that. Then you get to figure out like what is next. When you can't see it and you don't know, that's the hardest part, I think. Deborah says, this is everything right now. Details to follow. March 22nd is DD day for me. I don't know what DD means. It's like a big day for you, or intense day, but maybe you'll let me know. But yeah, now you know transit-wise what's going on. There's a couple of things here. I'm going to watch the chat for a little bit. Part of me almost wants to take a phone call. I'm in the mood, but there's only 11 people watching, but maybe I'll do it. The other thing is, I got a couple books here on the side, some recent things that I've acquired. I bought way too many books this last 6 months. I'm just out of my mind with books. But some good ones. I have some good ones. You're welcome, Creatrix, and thank you to all of you who are up right now. And it's funny, like I some of you must be on the West Coast. I don't know where you are in the world, because it's 11:30 here p.m. on the West. So if somebody's in New York or something, they're up late. Wherever you are, it's cool. Okay, so I'm going to show you a book that I just got today, and I can't wait. I've been waiting. I went for it, and Creatrix, you're in the Bay. You're getting sloshed over there, man, with weather and rain. Totally. Eddie says, totally, thank you. I shouldn't be up right now, but you are up and you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Hell, I hope your shouldn't is turned into what? No, that's the wrong word. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing is, if there's something you want me to do in a chat and you have a question, I will do my best to answer it because I'm in the experimental mood right now. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you a book that I got today. And first, before I do this, I'm going to actually have to find the book so I can put it up on screen. And, oh, I already got it that way. I'll do it this way. And I wonder if I can show it to you. Like, no. You could tell. Oh, okay. Hey, there it is. Gods and Mortals. Hi, Gods and Mortals. Yeah. So there's Gods and Mortals. Sarah Ailes Johnston. I just picked this up. I just got it today. I'll put a link if you want to buy it through my referral links because that always helps. But Sarah is an amazing professor and it has a history of work. Cat LM in London, England, listening whilst getting ready for work. Good to see you, my friend. What's up? Yeah, you're 8 hours ahead possibly here from where I am getting ready for work, which means you work on the weekends too. What day is it? Saturday. It's going to be Saturday. Glad you're here. Anyway, this book here is the deal that I got today. And I'll tell you the reason why I bought this book. Well, oh, hold on. I got so much going on the screen, man. I have to do that. No. Why is this all there? I'm having the worst deal right now. No, Nicholas, I completely messed up here. There it is. I see what's going on here. Okay, so we're going to go back to here, and it's called Gods and Mortals. The reason is because this author wrote another incredible book that I'm into right now, and it's on Hecate, and it's probably one of the best books you can get out there from a more research-based professor, formal way. There's so many books on Hecate, and there's the pagan influence books. They're all out there, all different kinds. Some of them are good, some of them are whatever. I don't care, to each their own. But she wrote that book. I'll bring it out from my book thing here. But she just put this book out, and I'm so psyched to read how she's translating these myths and stories and the archetypes. There's so many people that have been doing this. Greek mythology and mythology in general, if you haven't noticed in the last 5 years, and it's peaking right now, it's gone through a huge revolution. It's like you see fantasy novelists, you see the more feminist wave perspective of turning the myths into a different thing, all different types of things. You see it, someone I know who has a young daughter, there's these books called Goddess Girls, and they do a great way of presenting Greek myth for someone who's very, very young, and they're funny, So, but you see this, it's happening everywhere. But this book right here, I'm gonna start in. I can't start it tonight because I got other books I have to I'm dealing with right now. But check this book out. And even though I haven't read it, I will already tell you, she's amazing. And find a Hecate book if you want to do deeper research. So there's that. What else do I got here? I'm going to show you another book. And I'll actually read from some of these. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm seeing in the chat that we're going to spring forward in time. It's, for some people it's already happened, but here on the West Coast it doesn't happen for about 2.5 more hours, but I forgot that happened. By the way, we shouldn't have that. The same amount of light happens. The light doesn't change. The light's naturally changing. It's like I'm changing the hour, but the light doesn't change. It doesn't make it weird. All right. I know some of you are going to really look for this guy, this person. This person is Hayden Paul. And, oh man, Nickel, there. Is that going to work like this? Yeah. This book is on Pluto. His version of a Pluto book. I've been obviously doing a lot of Pluto reading. I'm a Pluto person when it comes down to it. That's a secret. Don't tell anybody. But that's Hayden's book. I got about 7 other Pluto books on my bed. That's what I've been. By the way, on my bed, I sleep next to books. So they're all Pluto books. That tells you what's going on with me. Yes, it was, Eddie. It was a farmer thing, but it also turned into a hyper-capitalistic thing too, I think, in the end, because, or actually, we might be talking about two different things with the time change. But Hayden's book has been interesting because it's coming from a more humanistic, more psychological level, and there's a lot of stuff here about more Jungian influence and stuff like that. But I just opened up to this. He's talking about Mars-Pluto aspects, the fun ones. This aspect should give you considerable physical energy and vitality, which you can apply to tasks requiring persistence, determination, endurance. So Pluto's already obsessed and already has a subconscious endurance, and Mars is all about that. You are able to direct a potent will towards realizing your aims, and your innate vitality, when rightly directed, that's key what he's writing here. He's saying when rightly directed, will be the means by which you steer your life course. If you don't whatever rightly directed is with a Mars-Pluto conjunction in someone's chart in the world, is it better be rightly directed, because it's going to bring destruction. It'll just sabotage and do some nasty stuff. I seen some stuff in the chat. And by the way, we're going to have, it's going to take a little bit. I have to see Mars is in Gemini right now, but we're going to have in the next 20 years when Pluto is in Aquarius really kicks in, because it's going to go in and out from Capricorn to Aquarius here, starting this month and all the way to next year, right? But when it really kicks in, we're going to have, instead of Mars, Pluto, and Capricorn conjunctions, we're going to have Mars, Pluto, and Aquarius stuff for 20 years. And it's just going to get set off. And not only that, we're going to have, in the beginning of all those types of transits, we're going to have times where it's going to be Uranus and Taurus squaring Mars and Pluto and the other fixed sign of Aquarius. Now, if you are bored and you want some action, that's action's coming our way as a culture and society. It's going to only get intense. All right, I'm looking at chat. I will have to get up in utter darkness in like 5 hours, Eddie. Yeah. Utter darkness. Kundalini, esoteric books. I see you, Tara. It would be great if I could actually harvest all the seeds I planted. I'm seeing chat. Melissa B, hi. Hi, Melissa B. So should we fear or rejoice in Pluto entering Aquarius? Good question. Let's talk about that. Melissa in chat's got 1 degree aqua, wherever that is, sun, whatever, and I'm nervous. I totally understand, Melissa. You should be nervous. I mean, I don't blame you for being nervous. I think a lot of what astrologers talk about Pluto, they don't mince their words, and we've had a building history when we look at world events and certain things from the mundane perspective of Pluto's influence. It doesn't half-ass what it does, basically. It deals with corruption in the end. And I'm not just saying politically, okay, but it deals with things that are corrupting, that are corrupted. And this will be happening in Aries or the Aquarius parts of everyone's chart. For you, I'm not saying you're corrupted, like bad, but it's going to touch upon, and stuff's going to come up that is basically not working anymore, and needs to go through a slow process of unearthing what power means in the Aquarius parts of people's chart, but in your world. And when you get to places like that, there's really intense, blatant, harsh realities that come. And so I can understand why can be nervous. And I'm looking at Melissa here in the chat saying sun, but stellium and aqua. Yeah, you have a journey, my friend. This is to keep it simple. This is what I tell my clients. But it depends. I can't generalize here because everybody's different. But if you want to take the view or stand in the place of like, well, there's some corruption going on, or it's going to reveal itself. And you could think about the fixed sign that Aquarius is. Sometimes fixed signs, they have literal blind spots, like they can't see things, because fixed signs are here to take things from point A to point B and be tunnel vision about it and get it now. What would we do without fixed signs taking what the cardinal signs, the signs that start the seasons, and the fixed signs take it and move it forward, and then the mutable signs change it up and the cycle starts over again. Whatever the case is, fixed signs can be really stubborn and really hold on to positions, and it's because those positions or the ways they found to go along from point A to point B worked. They carried a story, they carried a theme from strongly, directly, and with determination and focus. And so sometimes certain habits build along the way with something like that. And for the Aquarius world, even though we talk about freedom and ingenuity and Aquarius's need to branch off from what society or for what the normal is and leaving the normal line and walking your own path, even that gets normal and can become dogmatic. And the reason I'm bringing the dogmatic thing up is because Saturn rule in Aquarius, even though we talk about, it's air open, it is Saturn ruled and it gets stuck in its ways. So if you look to the areas that if they like corruption in the ways of certain things that need to be changed, if you start to see hints of it or it's being reflected back towards you by the outside world, try to take a step and be there and look at it. And here, in one way, the Aquarius mindset can come in of looking at it from the objective observatory end of it, from the scientific way of things, right? So it's just like you're stepping out and looking, and then at the same time you go in, and this is what Pluto's going to do. You can't just step out and look. You go in and you integrate, and then you deal and start the story of like having to deal with that corruption and piecing it out. I mean, I'm trying to use good words here, but it's a power struggle, okay? And you're going to have to stand in your power, but there's going to be situations where you're not going to feel powerful, or you might have it reflected where there's a power over you. And that's the story, and to try to figure out how you stand in that and what you have to do. And part of the control that you have, I think, as a person or anybody listening to this, is to see where you have control and where you can eliminate and purge certain things in that part of your chart. I don't know. That was a long-winded thing. But I feel you, Melissa. I feel you. I'm looking at chat. Very grateful. You got it, Melissa. By the way, I'm not to promo myself, but I just added 2 readings onto my website. I got a just special reading right now that just deals with Pluto and Aquarius, and I got one just for Saturn in Pisces. I just added them this week. I love doing these because a lot of times whatever's on my mind, what I'm talking about, there's somebody in the chat that's directly dealing with it or is going to. So what else? Let's read what Hayden says. Even though this book, it was written 88. This is what he says about Pluto and Aquarius. In a sense, it's funny when you get people writing about this stuff, they're predicting out. The image of Aquarius is the water bearer, the container and releaser of the potent life energy present in water. It's interesting he took that angle. All is well known. We stand at the threshold of the new age of Aquarius. I don't know if I agree with that, Hayden, but we're not in the age of Aquarius, but we're standing there. It's going to be a long time. So it's reasonable to assume that this transit of Pluto through Aquarius will be very influential. It is likely to sound the death knell of the old civilization and to see the formative needs of a new cycle displaying early, shoots above the ground. So Pluto's below ground, shoots above the ground, putting roots for the new world. What's in the ground. Also at this time, there will be seeds sown which will not emerge from the ground until much later in the cycle. Okay, yeah, that's obvious. Such later seeds can be foreseen as a future vision by those in society who can register the inner pattern unfolding as life on Earth. It's got a lot of fancy psychological way of doing it there, but basically it's talking about seed moment with Pluto and Aquarius. I'll tell you what I think on that too. Rita Vanderwald, hi. How are you, Rita? In chat, hi there, happy to be here. Sunday morning. 9:37 a.m. Cape Town, South Africa. What's up, Cape Town? Good to have you here. So he says the sign is associated with individuality, universal brotherhood, group consciousness. I think that's very important what he's saying, and is an air sign stimulating mind and the intellect. Scientific developments are likely to be made during this phase. I agree with you, Hayden. Which are directly linked to the needs of the future cycle and to the furtherance of world humanitarianism. Humanitarianism. I can't even say that word. He's got a lot of words. Sorry. Am I blushing? The previous. Okay, here's where a lot of astrologers are already talking about this, but he talks about it here. The previous Pluto and Aquarius transit saw the development of the free democratic state in America, the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and the French Revolution with its ideal embodied in quote-unquote liberty, equality, fraternity. And the revolts in Europe against the outdated aristocratic and dictatorial government systems of the time. The revolutionary idea was not achieved by the French and is still an idea which modern world society has not evolved to embody yet. And this is where I think we have to be real. Will these ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity ever be fulfilled? And I think here we have a major we have something happening with the Pluto and Aquarius transit that's going to deal with this for everybody on planet Earth. I think because of technology and it's evolved now, I think it's going to happen rapidly. Will revolutions happen? There's always revolutions happen, but I think this is more in the mind what's happened here first. And to get back to places where we see the separateness of things. Now, a Pluto and Aquarius in history is dealt with splits and schisms within religion, within the Catholic Church, Greek Orthodox Church. I forget which king in England, somebody in London's going to help me out here, wanted to marry Boleyn, and Boleyn couldn't because of the rules of the Pope and the Catholic Church, and then separated from them. That happened during a Pluto and Aquarius transit. I'm not doing the best on the fly right now with dates, but it happened during a transit like that. You see schisms happening and people get separated, and you see people come together like in these revolutions that are talking about. You could take that in your personal world, in your Aquarius chart, that kind of story is going to play out. Hey, Kelly, how are you? I see you in chat. So, and by the way, I just did a major podcast the other day on another someone else's show that you probably might know. And we did a 3-hour live stream or 3-hour recording on Pluto and Aquarius with 2 other colleagues of mine. That's probably going to come out within the next week, and I won't say what it is, but it's you're going to see it. So I did a lot of talking about this with my pals and so on and so forth. So when this guy is talking about certain foundations being met, I think it's an overlapping story of certain foundations happening and overlapping, ones that they're breaking down at the same time, and then they're sort of getting seeded, but they don't happen fast. They take a long time. And some of those, and what I'm getting to is some of the dreamers and some of that we get through movies and content and media is thinking we're going to have a revolution and it's going to change overnight or within 3 or 4 months. But it doesn't really happen that way. And sometimes things get set up where, a transit like Pluto and Aquarius is 20 years and someone never gets to see the byproducts of the things set up during a transit like that. So hold on a second. So anyway, there's some thoughts. Yeah, there, Kelly. Thank you. It was Henry VIII ditched Catholicism and made a Church of England, but there's reasons. That's simple. So one of many Pluto books out there. This one's okay. He's got a one on Neptune that's really good, and Uranus. A bunch of books Hayden got, and it's just coming from that more 80s Dane Rudyard psychological modern base of astrology, and you can pick up a lot of that. Look, he's got a chapter on the inner shadow. The whole story of Hades and the purgatory and healing and activity that goes on through purging in the underworld process. archetypes, the unconscious mind, all the psychological based humanistic way of looking at things. That's one flavor. I'm looking at the chat. I wanted to burn Nicholas, Aquarius, 10th house sun. Mercury, Venus. I wanted to burn. Let's burn it down. I feel ya. As someone who's been involved in political activism in other parts of my life, I understand, and then I learned the hard way that it's you have to find the people who are willing to do the crazy work and certain things and work with other people, because the upkeep is crazy. It'll drain your energy. So it takes. And here's the thing about culture and society. I think here what we're going to see with technology is, the whole thing with decentralization, how in a sense corporations rule the apps. Instagram rules this. Facebook, all of them, TikTok, they all got their hands in it. You don't own what you do. And in a sense, there's a whole issue that's come up through the Pluto and Capricorn transit about free speech and censorship and all that stuff. But in the end, it's like, how will people bind together? Now, people feel together cohesively, but is it really cohesive? And what vessels are used to create the cohesiveness, and where are people standing? And for me, I think there's a meltdown happening with social media. It's obvious that it's structurally changing, and there's competition going on, and it's kind of up in the air. It's one of the reasons why I chose YouTube to do everything now, is because I think they're a little bit more solid. But when we get into the more political end of things and so on and so forth, whatever the social media is, it's going through a change, and decentralization, I think, is a big part of what's going to happen. The next stage of like being in places where we feel that we're in control of what we say, we own what we say, and we're with groups of people online converging and doing that. You already see people doing this. It's going to accelerate itself. But I also think part of the cohesiveness involved coming out of a pandemic is that we get back to being cohesive in physical spaces with each other, whether it's your neighbors and community. It's not just online. I think that's a big part of it. I think it's happening, honestly. People get to a point of like they're unhappy or feel empty and don't realize why. And it's like, oh, I need more sunlight. I need to talk to somebody. Basic human interactions, body language, living through your senses. Those are things to reclaim. That's actually the oldest technology that there is. So saying that, I will show you one more other thing, and then I don't know, I might be done. So. Kelly says, game of patience, sadly. Agree. Yeah, and then some of us are impatient, some of us are patient. I don't know what I am right now, but I took a break from politics and all that, and I'm sort of stepping back in as Pluto in Aquarius is igniting something in me, and I'm thinking about being more honest on my YouTube videos, which is probably going to bring more BS in my world in the comment sections and stuff. But you know what? It's ebb and flow. Sometimes you have nothing to say, and then life, you have something to say again, and you have to stand in it, and you have to live a certain way. And that's another thing I would say about Pluto is you get to a place with Pluto in your life, if part of the story, you realize there's no going back, and you realize too that because of the metaphorical death and rebirth process of all, at least the death part of it, or being on the edge, it's like, then you have nothing to lose, right? And that's the start of the reclaiming and the empowerment. Then you got nothing to lose. And then let's say it's you doing that, and then you notice there's 20 other people doing that from the same place you are. You're thinking the same thing. That's how these little things turn into big things. So if you're impatient or patient, get ready. Be open. Stand in your truth. Be good to yourself. Be your individualistic self. because you're in the self taking care of yourself, but you're really kind of setting yourself up for who you're going to integrate with, because they've been doing the same thing. So when it comes to movements and change and all that in culture and society and in our neighborhoods or whatever, that's how it's happened. It's how it's always happened. Will technology be a part of it? Yes, we're going to use our phones. We're going to do all that. At the same time, it goes back to just, same thing, like looking at each other and like, let's do it. Let's do it. So, okay. So I wasn't planning on doing this. It was a test tonight. Part of me wanted to show you another chart of something interesting, but I'm not going to do that yet, but I might do a separate video, but I do want to show you something else, and then I will get off here, and we'll look at something here. You might have got a clue of what I was trying to do. You might have got a clue. Actually, why don't we do this? We're gonna look at something here, and then I'll get off because I think my Twitter test worked. So, by the way, I want to show you the video game that I've been playing. I'm not gonna play the video game, but I'm gonna show you the game because I just saw something in chat, and you're gonna laugh. By the way, it's Saturday the 11th, the Jupiter Chiron conjunction. It happened at 10:53 p.m. When we get to the 14th, which is Tuesday, and that's where we're gonna go to in this chart. We're going to go here, and we're going to go to, I'm doing this wrong. Come on, Nicholas. That's the 14th. That's a day right there. That's 1, 2, and then we're going to go hour. I wish I could just speak into this, and the chart would just do whatever I wanted. I wish I could just change my birth time and just do another birth time for a day. See what it is to be a Cancer sun. Oh, my God. I can't even imagine. All right, so, here we're going to go to, this is 452-ish. This is good enough. All right. So basically you're looking at this chart here, and why are we looking at this chart? The last chart of the night. Well, we're going to look because it's the final. It's the final Mars-Neptune square that happens. There's Mars at 25 degrees. If you're really paying attention to this, this is just it's this whole month is incredible astrology. Every day there's something amazing and incredible and hard and joyous, whatever. Neptune here at 25 degrees and Mars at 25 degrees. This is the third time they've squared each other. They did this 2 other times all the way back. All in the very beginning, before Mars went retrograde in Gemini in October, this happened. All the way back, this happened. So we got the third time here of this square, and there's some final thing going on for this Mars and Gemini transit in those parts of your chart. I would think that someone is smart enough now who've gone through the Mars and Gemini stuff in your chart to know that here is maybe you finally figured out how to work with the creativeness and the boundarylessness of Neptune. This Neptune-Mars square can bring fog and illusions in someone's mind. What's real, what's not, disinformation is still part of this. But in your personal story, I would hope that you have figured a little bit of this out coming from the Pisces part of your chart to the Gemini part of your chart. So you want that. Now, interestingly enough, if you're paying attention to this chart, you'll see that the sun's involved and Mercury's pretty much involved. There's a heavy Piscean influence on here, and you also have a little bit of a mutable T-square going on is what they call it, because at this point you see the moon in Sagittarius that day too, opposing Mars. This is mutable unpredictability going on here, because of then you have Mercury square the moon in Sagittarius. You could see thoughts are coming from many different places, higher thoughts, internal thoughts around you. They get scattered. They could be unwieldy. And so this is an interesting day that's coming up on Tuesday. It's already building up now. So just a little heads up from the last chart I'll throw at you. It's like the next day we have Sun conjunct Neptune. I get that correct? Yes, we do. And then the next day, on the Thursday the 16th, is another incredible day in the astrology world, and I'm, even though I'm going to do a podcast on this tomorrow, let's just check it out, right? Since we're here, and no one's gonna. You guys are the only one watching this. We could just let's do it. So, okay. So here's Wednesday, right? And then you could see the conjunction happening right here with 25. Let's do it this way because I'm just in the zone. So there you see a 25 degree. There's the Sun Neptune. Mercury's right there too. Dreams. You got to write that stuff down. You're gonna be channeling stuff. They're bringing in something else from somewhere else. The antenna's pulling in stuff. The veil is thin. We're gonna get to the next day. I'm speeding through. And then here we have such a fascinating day. So officially we have Mercury and Neptune conjunct. And then we go several hours later, we go Moon Pluto conjunction, which is going to be the last Moon Pluto for at least 3 to 4 months. And then we have Venus, it's happening, but basically eventually Venus goes into Taurus. Okay. That happens at 3:34 p.m. We have eventually the official Mercury square Mars. Mercury square Mars at 25:25. Okay. This is all in one day, by the way. We go to Venus sextile Saturn because Venus just entered Taurus here. Let's bring in the heavy hitter here. Let's bring in the heavy hitter. Venus. Is this even working? I don't think it's working what I just did. Venus sextile Taurus. Hold on. No. Yeah. Let's see if this works. It's going to be harder to see because I don't got it big enough. There we go. And then, so basically here we got the other Venus sextile, Saturn. That happens at That happens in the 17th. Basically, a huge week coming up. And then we get to Friday. We have Mercury Sun conjunction. That's official Moon Pluto. Moon goes in Aquarius. We have a week. It doesn't end. It gets a lot of mutability. And I see a lot of stuff going all over the place this week. If you're mutable, you're used to living this way. For some other people, you're not. And you got to figure it out. Hold on. I've lost my mind. So that's what's up. I'm going to hopefully do a podcast that's 24 hours audio podcast and a little bit deeper dive. And that's what's in my mind every day when I look at stuff. I want to thank you for joining me and for my experiment tonight. It's late where I am. I really want chocolate, but I'm not going to do it. And if ever someone watching later and stuff, I'm just riffing and talking tonight or whatever. But my magic and what I do, I show myself on YouTube and stuff. But I got my deeper practice, which is my one-on-one consultations. You can find more about me at sparklesofgold.com. And all the other things that I do. Why don't I show the thing I've worked so hard to show? Is it this? No. I can't do it. There it is. I spent hours on that a month ago to add that little graphic that you see on the screen. Anyway, thanks for coming to my experimental live stream tonight, which has a huge rose-colored hue, doesn't it, tonight? My face is like blending in with the background. And that's what's up. I appreciate you. Thank you. For any of you that's happened to come on Twitter and you saw this, I might keep doing that. I have a thing with all Twitter, Astro Twitter. I don't know about you all over there. I don't know about it. A little too much of something, and it just always ends up in these places of conflict. The place is fueled by conflict. It's But you know what I said to myself? I'm going to stream to Twitter tonight to see what happens. No, who knows who's going to see it? But because I started this whole thing about Jupiter, Venus, or Jupiter, Chiron, and Aries, I'm like, maybe a message. Maybe what I have to say right now is for that community, that it's beyond what you know and proving what you have to know constantly on Twitter, and then the banter and the debate, because it's really hitting the serotonin in your brain. It's really hitting you chemical. It's a totally like air and fire app, like unwieldy, you know, like a lot of Gemini and a lot of like fire too, and it gets all just when, you know, air feeds fire, and it just gets out of control. And then next thing you know, people are blocking each other, they hate each other, they're getting these things of having to prove what they know and these arguments. And I'm like, you know what, the reason why I'm on YouTube is like people can leave a comment and they're not gonna oh yeah, Casey, I will show you my video game that I've been playing. But, you know, I'm on a rant here. It's like, at least on YouTube, if someone doesn't like what I'm doing, they could say something in the comments, and it's not going to go trail off and explode into like this ego-proving gratification, look how much I know game. And look what I did to you, and I show you, you said this to me, and it's like, I'm over it. I'm always up for a good debate, but I'm over it. So Twitter, if one person on Twitter saw this, I do more of these on YouTube, and I'm all about being real and being honest, and I could do the debate, but what I'm really into and what I want to see for myself and the people that I interact with is to get out of a place and mode where your nervous system is caught on by an algorithm, where then an algorithm, and mind you, the person who owns Twitter now is just a little boy, a little scared boy with all the money in the world. And that energy is now infused in the basis of Twitter. I would like to change that. If I'm going to stream on there again, my force and my words and everything I talk to comes from my heart. It is the complete antithesis of that. And if anybody else is getting caught up in the arguments or in playing that game, let it go. Go past it. We're more than that. As a matter of fact, we should be using the platform, and hopefully it does, and all the platforms that we get together to change stuff. So it gets beyond this separation and polarity thing, and gets to a thing of reaching across the aisle and try to understand each other. Even if it's something, so there's certain people in situations that they're toxic. Go away forever. But there's a lot of stuff where the arguments and the way comment sections and the way things are filled, they're there to separate us. I'm over it. If we're talking about any Pluto and Aquarius thing that could change, it's that. Nothing's ever perfect. Human beings always argue. They have factions. But it's a little too wild right now. I want something else. Don't you? Okay, there's my rant. I'll show you the game that I've been playing, and then I will get off. And thank you for Casey for saying that. Let me see if I can pull it up in the browser. And oh my God, this game. Let's can I show this? Why? No, there's that. Let me get that off the screen. And then is it this one? Yes, it's that one. And it's this game. Let me see if I can shrink this down. It's not working correctly, is it? Why is my... Oh, I know why. Hold on. Oh my God. You could deal with me. I'm trying to show you guys some shit and I can't. It's okay. Maybe. Oh, that's why. There it is. This game is called Hades. My God, this game is brutal. It should be, because it's called Hades. This game, if you're a video game player, is an intense, incredible game. But it will test you, and you want to throw the controller across the room. But the best thing about this game is it incorporates Greek myth and all the gods and goddesses of Greek myth, and the dialogue. Everything that they did in the game is incredibly researched. And part of the reason I went live tonight, because I was playing the game, and there's this whole Chiron thing that came up, and I'm like, this is crazy. So I that's where I went. The game's called Hades. That's the game I'm playing. And they have a second game coming out this year that has to do with Hecate and the magic. I can't wait. But you have to be a serious weirdo video game player for this one, because this one will torture you. But they did so well, like what Hermes says, what Artemis comes in. The whole story is you're the son of Hades, and there's a reason why you're trying to get out of the underworld. And they beautifully done, incredible dialogue, and very well researched when it comes to Greek myth. And that's the game, and that's the deal. It's a roguelike game. They call it roguelike. So they call it a roguelike dungeon crawler type of game. Yeah, and I know, see, Eddie's... I'm playing the game lately because it's actually part of my Chiron wound story, the way I started off this live stream. And that's how I'm going to end the live stream. Because I started off this live stream about Chiron, Jupiter, and what's happening with me and everything else. And someone I know close to me is like, Nicholas, you're working a lot. And I have. And like, do things that are not work. You know, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch Last of Us Zombie Game because I know that video game. I played it and it's been on HBO. So that's my treat. And I'm like, I can't play video games. I can't because I got videos to make. I got a Saturn and Pisces video to make. I got other stuff to do. But if I keep walking that direction, then I won't be able to do anything. And that's part of my healing crisis and part of my healing story is I have to bring in things that are not working and play a video game for an hour, you know? And it just still happens the game I'm playing right now is about Greek myth, which the book I brought up earlier. So in a weird way, I'm working, but in a different way. So there you go. That's the deal. Thanks for being here. I want to say go play that game, but get ready to put 300 hours in. So that's what's up. Thank you for watching and dealing with my experiment. I don't know if I'm going to leave this up. I might take this live stream down. And whatever. I am just under 400 hours away by the end of the month to get YouTube partnership. Hopefully I'm going to get it. I'm actually going to do work on some videos here, some real ones, and I'll have it together here for you all, okay? All right. I will see you later. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video.